What's up? So I had so long story short, fucking my iPhone that I have is only, I think 65 gigs. No, yeah. So the plan was to try to find a way to still make videos or record or whatever, and not have to worry about the storage problem originally, but it ended up being a problem anyway, so I had to still pay for it by the end of the day. But that's just me being, uh, I guess, just extra as fuck. I should have just bought it to begin with, cause iPhone just be on that shit, I guess. But yeah, I'm eventually upgrade. Get microphones, cameras, lights, everything. But for now, do what I gotta do. Obviously, you know. Uh, yeah. So I had recorded this on this journal app, if I'm being honest, and it's just like, damn, it's long, so bear with me. But at the same time, I feel like this was something I should have recorded, and I'm not. I'm trying to stay away from like editing and stuff because I want everything to be organic as possible, and like when it comes to my music and stuff, that's different because that's like, okay, this is an art, but this is like, my videos is more like us being friends and you like walking with me, or a day in the life with me, we hanging and shit. But my music is like a craft, it's an art, so you want it to be, I won't say as perfect as possible, even though that's what we try to. I mean, the whole point of it is to have fun like a kid. This is why the analogy I always use for my people is whenever I'm talking to anybody, honestly, it's like a kid. A kid's not, when they playing the action figures and stuff, they're not like, oh, I'm gonna be the best action figure player. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so it's like that. We're supposed to have fun. It's not necessarily about perfectionism, but to marvel at our creation, as well as the stream or the channel, the download we receive from the creator, and as well as to be able just to see a reflection of what's inside of us being produced and made manifest into the physical. So it's levels to it, but at the same time, it's just like the main thing is the feeling it evoked to be in the act of it. That's the reason why they say you're never supposed to fall in love with the result, but mainly the process. I mean, of course, you want to do a little bit of both, or a lot of bit of both, but you get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, back to the what I was trying to say. This is, I feel like, yeah, it's something that I would have put out, but I didn't have it on video, which I should have, because me, I'm animated as fuck. But yeah, so I just felt like I should probably put this out in one way or another, one shape, somehow, And it ain't like there's no way for me to just go in and turn it into an MP3 and then I could put it on, you know, um, like with a thumbnail or something, on YouTube or whatever. And yeah, so I'll figure it out later. But the main thing is put it out because I need to. Because I'm actually backtracking. I made this January 22nd. It's February fucking. Oh, no, actually, I said I said it's February. It's March 2nd. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely slack with this one. I mean, I've been slacking over the years in general. So my main thing is now, even though I'm not supposed to rush, I'm playing catch up because there's a lot of stuff I should have made or I should have been doing, content I should have created. So I kind of got my foot on the gas right now where it's like, yeah, but then again, okay, so for example, the video I just put out um, was made the other day, but I had, the Wi Fi here doesn't work unless you like standing by the sink. So, yeah, even when I bought the Wi Fi extenders, it was a whole situation with that and it didn't work. So just back to square one where I have to, you know, use mobile hotspot and whatnot from my other phone, and it's just like, yeah, it didn't work, and I used all that data for no reason, and then so I figured out how I can, you know, upload my videos because I was just thinking the video was too long, but no, it's just that it's the Wi-Fi situation. So right now I'm gonna just do what I gotta do for now, and then figure it out as we go. You know what I'm saying? But I'll probably be stopping, pausing this to do commentary. To add my little bits of my newest perception or my newest thoughts on it. Vice, like as that means like we're evolving, growing every day. So even something that I might have believed yesterday might not be true today. So it's just like, but it's always the refinement, the constant, refinement and evolution process to keep evolving, to keep, sculpting, chipping away at your old self and manifesting the new self, and unlearning, relearning, rewiring our brains, our cellular structure to become our greatest self, the highest self, or to reach back to the highest self while, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to get into that. But, yeah, we will, but just later. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this started so it'll open up the conversation and we can get rolling. All right. January 22nd, you know what I'm saying? I should have been, no, I really should have made it a video because then I could have just uploaded it. And I wouldn't even have to worry about it. I could be on to another video right now. But I'm like, why would I do that when I still got some other shit that I should have put out? And it was just, yeah. So I'm just like, let me do this, and then I'll get back to where I left from yesterday. Or was it yesterday? It was the day before, yeah. Anyways. If God is all things, then how would there be a devil? Hold up. I'm gonna just go ahead and turn it all the way up. No, down to. There's nothing that can oppose him or her. One more time. One more time. If God is all things, then how would there be a devil? There's nothing that can oppose him or her. Or as I like to say, die, the supreme. So, if there's no such thing as a devil, then that's to say, so when you have God is all things, so God is the worst of the worst and the best of the best. So it's like when the devil or whatever, as they say, is in your ear, that's still God, but he's giving you the option to choose which side you'll listen to. The small voice that's telling you to do the right thing, or the one that's the loudest trying to deter you if you're righteous. Because that also ties into, you have to keep in mind that even though he's testing you to see which way, you got to know your nature. So if your nature is wicked, then you won't, as I say, you won't get punished for the wicked shit you do, because that's your nature. That's what you're born to do. So the same way a snake doesn't the snake doesn't go to hell for biting somebody. A lion don't go to hell for mauling somebody that was in the wild. No, it don't work like that. That's what they're here to do. So it doesn't make any sense to say there's something that can oppose God, or that it's not God himself. But God gives you the choice. The fact that you think there's a wrong is what lets you know whether or not if you're wicked or righteous. So it really just boils down to that. So moral compass. And I don't know why I said maul for the lion. That's a bear. So lion would eat you alive. But yeah, so God, it's like God eating himself. So everything that happens in the world is all God experiencing God, interacting with God. So it's like even the worst of the worst shit that you think is happening, he's doing it to himself. So he's not really looking at it from our perspective with the moral compass thing that he instilled in us, because it's like he's everything. He's all sides of the spectrums, even shit that's beyond the spectrum. So yeah, make it make sense.
So, and God is all things. So that's to say, they say God is a he or him or father, but the light enters through the womb. So then that means if the wound or womb, what came first? Void or triple darkness, for better words, or let there be light, the sun. So that's to say, it took, it would actually be a woman, which is womb or the wound, which is the same thing you experience before you're born, because that's the same thing you're going to experience when you die, is that triple darkness. Of course, you're going to go through the healing tunnel and all that, but, that's like in a second to when it comes to here, because there's no time in the infinite. So it could be millions of years while you're floating in as a nebulous mist of nothingness and everything at the same time, simultaneously, or it could be in a second where you're boom and you're reborn. It could be anything you're reborn as, but nonetheless, because that's how. Don't ask me. The infinite will be the one to answer that question. But so that's to say. So then the woman came first. So woman is God. So the whole thing with the womb is letting you know I birthed everything into existence. So woman is God, if you want to be literal. But you can't make babies as a woman without a man. So I feel like, or my belief is that God is, well, first of all, he doesn't have a gender. Or I just say he because, to speak your people's language, not yours, because I don't know how you think. But as far as to say there's no such thing as gender to a non-flesh or non-physical entity. So to say he or she doesn't make any sense. But to say thy has them attributes, which there is both, then that's to say the supreme masculine and the supreme feminine. So that's not necessarily gender, but qualities. So there's no sense of saying, just the universe, non-physical, infinite intelligence, whatever you want to call it, is better than the Father and shit like that, because that's like saying the Father has maternal energy and ways to go about doing things. The Father is the Father. It's like trying to say a man can be a woman. It just don't work like that. But anyways, so back to what I was saying. The light enters through the womb. So yeah, it needs both, and then that's to tie it back into saying that there's really no such thing as good or bad, or there's no such thing as good or evil. It's just righteousness and wickedness, which is all about our perception, our perspective on things, because we're not looking at it from a non-physical vantage point. So how can we say what is righteous or wicked, or we know what we feel what feels right to us, but that's all skewed by the programming. So what might be nothing to God, we might think is everything. Even such is life. We know life is the most valuable, but how do we know it is? The only way to know that is if you step all the way back. Like we was just saying in group about the Buddha, he literally detached himself from everything. And that's how he was able to transcend. Just like the Avatar, the last Airbender. He had to let go of everything, including himself, to reach the Avatar state. So then that's to say, once you let go of everything, then you can see it clearly for what it is, rather than the added on perception or emotion and perspectives placed on it. The projections is what I'm saying, for better words. The projections we place on things, then there's not a limited view or skewed view as to the way we move or function or understand things. But to detach oneself from everything is key, because the only thing that matters is what is. What is the way you conduct your vessel or your vehicle, your flesh vehicle, in this cosmic play. It's all theatrics. God wants the highs, the lows, the crying, the joy, it's ecstasy, the horror, despair. He wants it all, because it's like a movie that is supposed to captivate you, which is him, or him is you, because they're one and the same. There's no such thing as the separation between the two. Like Alan Watts said, you're shining the sun, you're growing the grass, you're spinning the planet. You're just not doing it consciously. You don't remember how you're doing it. So to say that we aren't God is inaccurate. Just as it is to say we are God is inaccurate, because you can't really, well, it is accurate, but you can't really say that without fully embodying it. That's like a false prophet or a false disciple. Like a person that's saying that they're Christian, but they do nothing of the sort of they don't, meaning, they don't do nothing of the sort. They don't embody Christ-like energy.
Well, actually, I would say now that yes, we are God, but we are just not in the embodiment of it because of the powers that be is distorting the whole reality with the Matrix. It's the tactics, the everything that goes into making this Matrix and making us devolve, and like we're not functioning in the God frequency. Even if we reach that, it's like there's so many levels to it. It's like, for example, how they have a military base on every chakra point of the earth, like the meridians for your body. The earth has meridians or a chakra network. So it's like to make everything lower vibrational and dumbed down. You know what I'm saying? Like to control it. So that way, whatever we could do, we can't, because they're not only fucking with shit on every level of you inside your body, but outside of you too, because all of it's interly connected. Like you and the planet is of the same make. You know what I mean? So the minute they fuck with the Earth's energy system and they fuck with our energy system, yeah, now we can't fly anymore. Yeah, now we can't do none of the shit that we were able to do. And yes, with all the other misinformation and shit that they do, like, erasing history and whatnot, right? Makes it work, because, like, they're practicing the shit we taught them in secret. So it's like, then they demonize it, so we turn away from it. So then they got even more control. But that's a whole nother. let me, let me not go too far into that yet. Keyword yet.
They don't embody Christ, then you can't really say you're Christian. You just read the Bible and you regurgitate it the same way a person who goes to school might know academics, but it's not what you know, it's how you apply it. It's how it's used. So everything is neutral until how it's used. So technically, you can read, not technically, you can read as many books as you want to, but it does not matter unless you're applying it. So really what that's to say is all religion is a tool for you to have like a blueprint or what's the word I'm looking for? Or like a structure, like a some type of, way to go about things. Not to say it's the way, but it's a way for you to shape your way through. Because there's many keys to the same door. Except God has many faces. So we're all those many faces. So we're all supposed to reach our fullest potential, which is to unlearn everything we learned and then relearn everything that was lost, that was sacred.
And to say that is to say, like, unlearn all the stuff they taught us to self-sabotage and self-destruct. Not necessarily saying, okay, so it's a way. Most of the stuff that they have is a way, because a lot of it is, religion is taken from a divine tree of knowledge, which is a culmination of all, the practices, right? So then it'll be like saying that, so yeah, it's a way. Everything is a tool until how it's used. It's neutral until how it's used. So then it'll be more so on us to tap into our inner library, our inner guidance system, our inner intelligence that'll make, because that's all it boils down to, is your receptivity based on your inner intelligence, meaning like how far you connected with self, your inner being, as Abraham Hicks says, or I would say, inner being, as much as you connected with inner being, and how long or how much weight you have in the spiritual realm. So like, if you are an old soul and you've done a lot of inner work over how many ever lifetimes, then yes, you will be able to make sense of the stuff they talk about in the Bible and in the Quran and the Buddhist texts, scriptures, any type of scripture, right? Because you was probably there when they wrote this shit. And then on top of that is more so of like you have experiences that's of this realm and not of this realm. So it's more than just words on parchment paper, or you know what I mean, like on a tablet, on walls, whatever. So you have the experiences to back it up and to make it make sense, and then you have the actual text to solidify it, because it's made manifest when it's brought into the physical realm, or else it's just a thought. Not even that, because thoughts holds just much weight, right? But yeah, that's a whole nother topic in of itself. But yeah, just saying. Yeah, I forgot exactly what I was going to get at, but it's okay.
That was, that we were turned away from, so that way the powers that be could keep, siphoning off of us and all the things they do. That's a whole nother rabbit hole for another time. So pretty much what I'm saying is, we're limitless beings. So it's not necessarily a beginning or end. As they say, God finishes, then he starts. So then that's to say that we never really have an ending, because God is infinite. So what exactly is there to finish? That's the reason why he finishes, then he starts. It's that infinity ring. It's a loop. You're always going to be, it's like sacred geometry. Phi. Is that one the golden ratio? No, that's Fibonacci.
No, phi is the golden ratio. That's the over and under, but never reaching perfection. Perfection. Fibonacci is the spiral that that does reach perfection. So Fibonacci sequence. Yeah, we'll get into that later. Anyways.
Well, anyway, Phi, always over and under, always reaching towards perfection, but never actually quite getting there. That is us. Because if we ever reach perfection, what we have to strive for, what would be the point? Where is the growth? Where is the theatrics if everything was just done? It's like when you beat a game, well, then what now? Do you play another game? Why do that when the game can go on forever? And that's why we'll never reach perfection, but we'll reach our highest self, which is always becoming better. There's always going to be more. So never worry about whether or not. How about this? Forget what I was about to say. You technically can't mess up, because even like in group, like Wu was saying well, I don't remember exactly, but pretty much what I was saying was like, you're going to have to mess up like all the way before it's, because like that's what they're saying, like a person that's addicted to something, usually they'll go back to it after they didn't quit for years or whatever, because it's stored. It's like muscle memory. It's stored in them, and as I was saying, their subconscious, which is also programming. The reactions, the behaviors, the addiction itself, all of it. But the fact that they're in environments, they don't have the tools of how to rid themselves of those vices, all of it. But that's another, for another time. But so pretty much what I was saying is like, a person has to fall. You have to fall. So the devil is not necessarily the bad guy. He's the one who, I would say, the same way they say Jesus died for your sins. Well, the devil is the one who had to sacrifice himself to be the leader of sins, because all of them are one and the same.
Like a hoops,
because
motherfucker.
how do you die for people's sins if there were no sins? So there's just what is, and people's perception of it. But God is looking.
How do you save people from their sins if there wasn't no sins? Oh, run that back.
The bad guy. He's the one who, I would say, the same way they say Jesus died for your sins. Well, the devil is the one who had to sacrifice himself to be the leader of sins, because all of them are one and the same. Because how do you die for people's sins if there were no sins? So there's just what is, and people's perception of it. But God is looking from the outside. So there's really not a good or bad or sin or or what's the word for good deeds? Virtue, or what's the word I'm looking for? Well, anyways, there's no good deeds or bad deeds. It's just what what makes it plausible, or what makes it relevant to us, is the fact that we do have consequences for our actions. There's consequences for everything, even for doing good things. There can be bad consequences for doing good things or good deeds. You're not immune to that. You're not. It does not mean bad shit won't happen to you, or that it won't have a bad consequence. Because if you're too loving, you're too caring, people will take advantage of it, because there's everything in the world. If you can think it, you will see it. You will find it. Everything exists. I don't give a fuck what they told you. Everything exists. To mermaids, to motherfucking angels, to fairies, you fucking name it. Everything they told you that did not exist, or that was woo-woo or crazy or ancient, like as far as doesn't exist anymore, it does. It's just on a vibration that we no longer function on. So how you gonna see something when you can't see past your own bullshit? Plus the whole planet. Remember, I always say this: we're all interlinked connected. So imagine, well, not even imagine, we're all interlinked connected. So then that means, as we say, they got military bases all over the planet on the Earth's chakra points, the meridians. So they have control over the Earth's electromagnetic grid. So they are actively, very, very, like the utmost, what's the word I'm looking for? Strategic and effective when it comes to dumbing us down, lowering our vibration, siphoning off our energy, and manipulating us. I'm sure there's more, but we're just going to go from there. So, what do you think was supposed to happen? What do you think how did we reach the peak of civilization in Atlantis and Lemuria and Wuthi-Wu, Kemet, if there had to be something to come here to oppose? Because, like I said, first there was